Could roll back to work. You notice a lot more game shows than when we were young. Well, when I was young, is celebrities praying for charities. So the charities go on, and oh, these celebrities gave all this money to us to help us survive hell with money. And you guys got to understand. Earl. Yeah, I sit here and I watch this stuff, and guys, there is no such thing as life-changing money. Okay, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. I'm the light and the way. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Okay, that's going to change your life from being manipulated by life-changing money, right? When you stop conflict over money and competition over money, you radically change the family and the interactive of human beings. There's a reason why Earl from the book of Revelation is the focal point of the apocalypse, and while other people are not. Okay? And then when I talk about things, it's very meaningful, it's very intelligent. That this YouTube channel, because my Facebook playlist is no longer applicable, okay, is a gift for humanity, for them to have access to the Messiah from rabbinic tradition and be able to participate with his capacity to save the innocent from the guilty. Okay. And we've had quantum computing for a long ass mother sticking frickin' time, right? And I'm sure we had it from the way they're acting and the dynamic of everything and the way it's been acting and the way they're still acting with their quantum computing, their data centers, and their what's happening in the Middle East right now, and between China and the United States and other people and stuff, that you are being manipulated by people that think they have the capacity to do genocidal games and operations to restore the planet and repopulate the planet with the people that they see fit to be populating the planet. Instead of judging people by their deed, they're manipulating people to have a reflection of their selfishness, and that's extraordinarily wrong. And the only way I'm capable of fixing technology is because of my complete honesty, since they monitored my whole life. And I have to tell, like when my sister came to visit, hey, did this and that, and that. We didn't, Trace, we already talked about that. Earl already covered that right after they kidnapped the kids. That was 2012. I might have even talked about it before. I don't know. I don't have all my data. But, it was 15 years ago that Earl talked about, what happened and stuff. And you get people, changed. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. Okay. My sister chose to be selfish because it was just her biological, psychological conditioning. And you couldn't talk her into learning from her mistakes and being unselfish. She wasn't like my mom. Okay. She was most likely like Ira. Okay. And had more of those genetic traits that overwhelmed my mom. My mom could admit when she was wrong. Okay. My mom was good at that. Okay. And that's why she always changed. That's why she went from Catholicism to Mormonism to Eckankar to not Eckankar to, my mom would sit there and she'd go, looking for a group that could help her feel and be, in truthful company. And it always let her down. And the only person that never let her down was when she talked to her son. And she'd get mad at me. You're so brilliant. You could be such a genius, such a best-selling author, such a Chief. And Tina did the same thing with me. When I would talk about things that I learned or that I observed and stuff, Chief would tell me, you should write screenplays. You should do this. It's brilliant. It's genius. You'd be so popular, so famous and stuff. And Tina would say the same thing to me when I talked about history. She goes, you need to write this down and write screenplays. It's like you're there, okay? It's like these people, like you went to school with these people. And I had teachers that were like that too, but with me it was on a totally different level. And I can't sell my prayer, because my prayer is for everyone to live the truth of the people I'm talking to in prayer. And if I sell it, then I corrupt it, and then, it doesn't work properly. Okay, we all know that. We know that from what happened with the stuff with Edgar Casey and also stuff that happened with Herschel Steinsteiner. Okay, they were just lost. And it was very difficult for them, and they knew they were in bad situations, and they tried to put me into similar situations thinking I would do the same thing. And so you're saying that it says so in the book of Daniel. Okay. And the book of Revelation. It talks about both what they did with Edgar Casey and they did with Herschel Steinsteiner in the West to try to have these great psychics to conquer the world with these great psychics, because that's what they considered the line of the prophets to be. And there was so much manipulation with drugs and hypnosis, like in the Charlie Chan movies. Okay, they did drugs, they did osmosis, and then they tried to use it for selfish benefit, and it corrupts it. They both said the same thing. Herschel Steinsteiner said the same thing, and so did Edgar Casey. And Edgar Casey's information was not as good as it could have been because they were using it for selfish gain. And the same thing happened with, well, actually, Steinsteiner's was better. Hitler just screwed the pooch because he was going to be better than his cousin he was jealous of. Okay, which we know, and it says so in the book of Daniel. All right, so you just got to understand that. And so that's already happened. Okay, so the book of Daniel's already happened, book of Revelation's already happened. It's pretty much is all the stories in the Bible, that book is sealed. That's done. The Quran is in correlation with the Bible. I have not read the Torah. And the Abrahamic Bible I have not read either, but you got to understand that the Torah, I'm said, to what I'm told, is just the Old Testament with different perceptions on it. Not the Roman perception of it, but what's supposed to be more of a Jewish traditional perspective to the Old Testament. Okay. I'm books. I'm the line of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. You know, Sadducee, Pharisee, scribe here, right? It's not happening. John wrote things down, yeah, because he was instructed to, and he was told the same thing Muhammad did. You know, Muhammad told them specifically not to write it down. Okay, but they went against him. Okay, they said there's Hadith and there's a Quran, and you're like, but he told you not to write down the Quran. He told you to live Hadith, to live the Lord's Prayer eternally. If you write it down, Jews, Christians, and infidels have changed the written word in order to self-serve and not serve faith in the glory of God, and will continue to do so. Why do you think he says that all through the verse of the Quran? They're going to do the same thing with my life that the Vatican did with Jesus' life. And that also affects Moses' existence and so forth. They tried to eradicate everything about Moses from the history of the world because they embarrassed themselves trying to use lie to manipulate people, and Moses was the truth that corrected their lie, obviously. Same with Daniel. Okay, so you guys just got to understand how all this stuff works. And that's why when you look at TV and you watch all these religious groups talking about the things they're talking about, they're scammering. You know, it's like basically coming into the kitchen, turning or in the bathroom, turn on the lights, and seeing the roaches just go and trying to hide. And you try to tell people, guys, there's no life-changing money. Okay, what will change your life is when you obey Jesus Christ. Those are commands. Okay, they're not recommendations or suggestions. They're not search engines. They're not apps. Okay, it's commands. Okay, forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful, peace. Do not use invention to abuse each other with invention and deny everybody the beauty of the natural laws for the truth of creation. It's those are commands. This is not something, it's not like Chris Rock with things that, to not get, I would look at him as, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you. Remember that one? And so you're dealing with robotics, drones, and quantum computing. Robotics, drones, and then quantum computing that can take control of all banking apps, all mechanisms, all, quote, artificial intelligence used to manipulate people with invention and lie and deliver people from evil. It's way different and way better than Edward Norton's and Meatloaf's Fight Club. And what was the other? Bradley Pitt there. He's so pretty. You want to beat up pretty. Don't you want to beat up pretty? Don't beat people up because you're selfish and jealous. Okay? Just be the best you can possibly be. You're judged by your deed, not your physical appearance. And look at me. Okay? I look like shit because you act like shit. I feel like shit because you think your shit is real and my life is shit. And so, yeah, and this time was different. We had quantum computing. And Rockefeller told me, and Rothschild both, they will gladly kill over our grandparents' money and watch you be tortured to death and not lift a finger to help you. Okay? And have everybody tell them, hey, made by our heroes, here's tech classes, here's this, here's miracle error, here's all this. Okay, just forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. If somebody needs something to help them hear better because of a lifetime of extortion and exploitation on building buildings that did not need to exist, Muhammad says that in the Quran. He says instead of building to last, they'll put all their energy into buildings that don't need to exist to establish their secular and insane tribal sex cult, violent and oppressive selfishness and disgustingness. They'll build the Great Wall of China. They'll build bigger insane monuments, guys. Beijing, Tokyo, New York, Chicago. Okay, those are all bigger eco disasters and mass murders of people. Okay, and mass murder of people for an industry that you donate for charities to solve the problems with money than the Great Wall of China and the pyramids put together. Okay, tear down the mountains, bring in a couple more. He was born in the summer of his 27th year, coming home to a place he'd never been before, right? Some say he got crazy. Some say he got crazy and tried to such a son. He lost a friend but kept a memory, right? You got to understand truth and how important it is to understand truth and think, speak, and live truthfully. If you can't do that, you'll be on TV doing things for money. And people will be watching you thinking, they're having a great time paying money to get in there. And how do you get into hell? You ask for money and ask for people to come and bring their money to solve all our problems for money with money. That's how you go to hell. Wake me up if we get to heaven. Let me sleep if we go to hell. It's like you're already there. You're making money with your music. People are coming into the arena to hear you sing these songs. This weirdness ends, right? And so, I feel like someone tell me why. Seems like I'm being followed by the teenage FBI, right? I would have never heard those songs if they didn't put them on NCAA Football 2006. The only one I had heard was, and I hadn't heard Train in Vain. I had heard Rock the Casbah and, what was the other one? Should I stay or should I go? If I go, there will be. If I stay, there will be double. So come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? It's indecisions bugging me. Yeah. I hadn't heard Train in Vain. Say you'll stand by your man. I had never heard Train in Vain. London Calling, what album is that? What album is on? I had the one with Rock the Casbah. But Cream, don't like it. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I don't know. They seem a little. We would have had to strike while it was hot. No, Dennis didn't block it wasn't his hook shot. They said that. No, that was a layup, and Kareem didn't see Dennis there. So he wasn't doing his full frontal Monty hook shot over the big guy, The most impressive was Ralph doing it. But yeah, Ralph is 2 inches taller than Kareem. But it was still a very difficult shot to block at its apex, And Ralph did it, because he was 7'4" and he had a 38-inch vertical. Okay. He just jumped up and whack. And Kareem's thing was like, you could do that whenever you want. Yeah, but I'm not Bill Walton. And, if you do that all the time, you can get yourself really badly hurt. He got really badly hurt anyway. And they'll do that to you. Bo Jackson, Billy Sims. That's why I quit playing. Yeah, I understand that, guys. I understand I have one of the most amazing immune systems. I know I get hurt, and it kept Kawhi Leonard out for almost a year or 2 years, and I was back up in 3 weeks. I understand the irony of all that shit. Okay. I understand that, and I'm looking like Uncle Fester and feeling like Uncle Fester. Not that anyone cares, but thanks for asking, all you imaginary friends out there. Imaginary lovers, imaginations are real. You're mine anytime. But it's like, yeah, no, I trust in my prayer. I don't know how it works with Jennifer Lopez. I'm not Jennifer Lopez. I don't know how it works with Ariana Grande. I'm not Ariana Grande. But I trust in my prayer. And I roll with it and I connect. And I don't connect a lot to the academic and the tech sector and the video game developers. I do connect to the celebrities because I can relate to them a little bit more. Live it up, baby. No more having to steal from Peter to pay Paul and stuff. So I can relate to being able to, dance and sing for your supper, kick everybody's ass in just about every sport that I'm good at and pick up. Yeah, it's like, he thinks he's so good. No, I know I am. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're good when it's another goddamn $75 fucking the goddamn fucking emergency room, Earl. You're really good. That's how you know when you're really good, is how many times they pushed you into the pullet in Canto Park. Right? I probably have the record. Okay. And like I told Isaac Benegas, when you're good when you go and they play and they say, okay, he plays like a faggot nigger. He plays like a joto negro. That boy think he bad. It's like, you got it just about all covered. Asian guys, no, they just jump in your jock like they're never going to let go of your balls. You ever played sports against Asian guys? What are you doing? Get off me. Get off me, get off me, get off me. Get off me. Yeah. That's all they do. And they follow you around everywhere. And okay, if you don't let go of my balls, I'm going to have to break your face. Okay, yeah. This is going to get nasty. Which Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen are like, welcome to my world. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they fought with expert timing. And when you watch those movies, right, they're not just play acting, okay, when Bruce is kicking their ass. Okay, he is literally, even if they were really fighting, he would be literally kicking their ass. Okay, that's how superior, of a dancer, Harold and Faird and Bruce Lee is to them. Okay, it's like a man among boys. It's just like, what? Like when you're holding little kids' heads and they're swinging at you, it's like that. It's like that. It's like that. And you're like, what? And then they go, oh yeah, but when you meet that one that you have to kill because he'll use his ability to bully everybody, and everything he gains from prayer and meditation he used for selfishness, and he negates all the wisdom, and he puts all love and preciousness and all intimacy and infancy at risk because he'll clone himself and try to make everybody worship his robot. Yeah, you kill his ass. Yeah, you just reboot him. It works. They set it up. I asked them not to. 2009. They knew exactly what I was going to say. Live the Lord's Prayer. They said no. You don't say it's not time yet. That's the same as saying, no, I'm not going to, and I don't have to. You don't have to obey the commands. No, because you're not the perfect father. You're a pervert. Oh. Okay. And at the time, I understand why they thought that. Okay, but then I had to explain to them, you guys do know, and they still know they're wrong, and I'm right, and I'm good, and they're but, and I'm truth, and they're lie, and I'm doing what's necessary because they're a murderer with their money, right? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. What's nice is, no more sitcoms about people dying in hospitals because of psychotic interaction of people feeling, brilliant and successful when they're body mechanics instead of human beings. And they give away 12 to 16 years of their lives to be expert body mechanics that put Botox into women's faces that are vain and take their face and skin from their butt and make it all, oh, don't you want to have sex with me? No. Why? Because it was wonderful having sex with Mary Magdalene. It was wonderful having sex with Sephora. It was wonderful having sex with Eve. Okay. It was wonderful having sex with women that love men and love children. Okay? And Sarah love, that was Abraham. Sarah loving Hagar and wanting her to be free from this abuse and saying, you're the only man that's good enough to protect this beautiful girl. That's why her mother came to me and said, do you have her as a house servant? They're all coming after her. You know what it's like. You know how to be pretty and have all the guys, that want to control you, not respect you. And you know what it's like. You know it's like we've looked and we can't find anybody like Abraham. Like the story of Lut. That's how they say it in Arabia. It's Lut. In English, we say Lot. Okay. In Arabia, when we're talking about, Hagar and we're showing respect, but we're sharing the stories from the other side of the first there is a mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is, because you do know they have traditional Arab stories and gospels of this life of Jesus, because it was Persian and Arab wise men that gave the money to pay the people to get through the criminal activity, to get Jesus away from the criminal activity of Herod and Caiaphas that were going to try to kill him. Same way Pharaoh tried to kill Moses. It's like Joseph redeeming the Canaanites, and then the Persians, and because they learned from a woman called Esther and a man called Mordecai. It's neat the way, isn't it neat the way that faith in God goes through, and there's always these points of redemption that have already happened. Second coming. John, Book of Revelation. There you go. Yeah, Richard Dawkins could explain it to you, but he can't explain it to himself. He can explain it to himself. He just doesn't believe that the Messiah is a better person than him, and he doesn't have faith in an omniscient and omnipotent essence of all existence. He thinks we made that up to take away all the hard work of great scientists. Seriously? Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, you guys can, I'll take the cell phone, the satellite, and, what else, Earl? What else is pretty decent and can be used for decent things to help people if they passed out in the desert doing something because they wanted to make money and trended online on their cell phone? The cell phone, the satellite, the cell phone tower. Well, we have to make sure that people aren't within correct proximity from it. We have things to keep the birds away so it doesn't cut. Okay, but I'm giving you bastards the nuclear weapon. The espionage equipment that spies on the girl in the bedroom that's trying to... Yeah, they don't really have to spy. No. You just have to buy Mark Zuckerberg in and say, this is a safe place. Go ahead and masturbate with the young boy who's 15 in England talking to you who's 13 in New Mexico, and masturbate on Messenger. It's a safe place. Let Mark win. You want to go on the back of the plane with Cheryl? Like, so they're going, really? They can't do that. They're billionaires. It's their platform. Did you read the legalese before you signed it? They can do anything they want to do with it in the interest of national security because of the Patriot Act. How Jeffrey of your Epstein? Oh, how Situation Room of your boat ride bedroom? Why? President and First Lady, you look like somebody just walked across your grave. I'm your huckleberry, right? Huckleberry sits in the old Val Verde tree, Mary, Mary, king of the Cochise County. Laugh, huckleberry, gay your life must be. Not for a New York minute, no. You know how much I love women. Okay. So, you guys got this? Carol. Thanks, Jennifer Lynn Lopez. Thanks, you come in here, it's going to be clean up on aisle, denial, 99999. Thank you. Okay. You're a good kid, man. I don't care what other people have to say about you. That one kid, should I give her a try? No. He goes, no. I said, I don't know. If she stood up for me tomorrow and said he's the Messiah and we should all live the Lord's Prayer, and it trended globally, don't you think I should give her a shot and say, hey, you want to help me heal and lose like 40 pounds in 8 months? And then you might look at me and say, hey, you didn't take steroids, and yeah, you're kind of cute. What do you mean I'm kind of cute? Marianne's gorgeous. Thank you very much. See my Marianne walking away. She's a handsome woman, and what makes her even more handsome than most women that think they're famous and that their fame makes them a better person than my mom is the Holy Grail, and I'm the Ark of the Covenant. And we protect people from eternal bullying because of their selfishness and trying to take their God-given talents and turn them into an exaggeration of their ego for philanthropy. Oh, invention, trying to replace the truth of creation. There you go. There you go. Please try not to use the word God in the possessive pronoun first person. Okay. For God must know how I love you so. He's brought us here today as man and wife. No. You're supposed to know the Torah. You're supposed to sit there and say, so the Lord does know how I love you so. His faith has guided us here now to become man and wife. That's Torah correct. Right, Rabbi Wolpe? Asshole. Okay, if you're going to say something, don't do it for money and say it right. For the Lord must know. The Lord does know how I love you so. His faith has brought us here today as man and wife. It's a real easy correction. We'll never be able to fix it on when she originally recorded it. I'm well aware of that. But any of you kiddos out there that don't want to be American Idol, but want to sing because you love people, okay? When you sing, I dreamed of you, okay? When you get to that part of the song, and the Lord does know why I love you so. His faith has brought us here today as man and wife. Because it wasn't Eve who did it. It was Adam. It wasn't Mary Magdalene who did it. It was Jesus. It wasn't Jenny Liddy who did it. It was Early Bird. Okay. Do you understand? So the Lord does know how I love you so. His faith brought us here today as man and wife. My love and my best friend, right? Okay. You get it? Stop crying. Gosh. Darn, when she starts crying, you pecans in your tears, man. I believe they're sincere. You're just fortunate I have good pray connections to your Emmy Maribel, because she's I love her so much. I talk to her and have her sit down and think before she decides to do something that she can't change, and it might just be put in for a social political agenda to manipulate people and abuse people with social position and social, She's an absolutely beautiful woman. She's a gorgeous woman. Okay, what she needs is not to have a bunch of shallow howls comparing her to her mother, but have somebody walk up to you and say, Mom, she's one of the most beautiful, sweet, protecting, kind, empathetic people that I've ever known. And I can feel my life for the last 10,000 years. I've been looking for her that long. Thank you for that coming to an end. Right? For the Lord must know how I love you so. His faith brought us here today as man and wife, right? Well, that's what I wish for their little Emmy, because Emmys are so sweet, and I love Emmy so much, especially when they're little songbirds that can sing from the heart, and each word will tear you apart. I sing, you sing along. You'll hear my life in your song, and life's eternal and grace is infinite. I was not expecting this. I love Emmys too. Okay, Lopez. If I start crying, you're going to start crying more. And then, sheesh. Okay, Lopez. Is she breathing? Yes, very low. What you doing, Jennifer, my love? Jennifer Juniper. Okay, come on. Let's get out of that sad sacking there. Okay, I love you too. What about Max? He's the perfect cast. He's a sweetheart. He's so empathetic. He's so kind. He doesn't want children. They're both very similar. They don't want children to be abused, You know how I am with Pisces. It's hard for me sometimes. And we're supposed to be like alike, My mom, we're water signs and all that. And me and Pisces, Rocky was a Pisces. My dad's a Pisces. Ponch's Pisces, Patrick's a Pisces, Me and Pisces always seem to butt heads over a lot of things. It's like, why are we butting heads? Just stand up for the Lord's Prayer. I'm about to kick the butt out your head. You going to go fishing? Okay. The perfect cast. Okay. Do you understand? Oh. Watching TV. Yeah. Stunt work. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's like when I play my video game, they have all these vicious hits, right? And just having them, it's wrong to go to try to hurt people when you're exercising. You're playing tackle football, not vicious hit, decapitate football. Any coaches that coach that way, it's like, you do know I could kill you with this finger, okay? Yeah, two eyes. Okay. After that, the lion, yeah, okay, yeah. Just come at me, get in close proximity. He used his pinky to poke my eyes out, and then it was a matter of attrition there. Well, I was only blind for a couple of seconds, and then, and then what happened? And then, since I wasn't going to have any more memories there, I just decided to, help him break my neck. Terrible. Didn't mean to. Guys, do not, okay? Keep committing these sins in your mind. So they keep replicating in the flesh on all your devices through your egotistical projections of Deadpool, Wolverine, superhero, supermodel movies, Carl Douglas, Save Us. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. Here comes the big boss, let's get it on. We saw that Bruce Lee movie. That needs to stop. He did that to stop criminal activity in Big Boss. Yeah. You guys understand? Okay. Criminal activity is to commit the sin in the mind before you commit it in the flesh, because you think it's justified, because the ends justify the means, because you accepted invention over faith in the truth of creation. For the Lord must know how I love you so. His faith has brought us here today as man and wife. My love and my best friend, right? Okay. So, does that help with your kiddos? I know how much you love your kiddos. I love my kiddos too. Me, I give my kiddos space, and I don't, they know they know my YouTube channel, they know Grandpa's phone number, so if they want to call me up and say, Dad, you're right, these people are wrong. You are living embodiments of the Lord's Prayer. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not taking out your money to go to the bars and have sex while we're all at home, sitting there wondering, what's going to happen. And, gosh, guys. Well, Natalie knew, and I told her that, don't be Mrs. Kravitz, If you go listen to your mom talk to guys online and lie and say that Emily and Noah were conceived with white prostitute drug addict women because I'm this horrible person and yada, yada, yada and stuff, and all the things that she says to people to try to get empathy from them to save her and save the kids from evil me, you're going to hate her. And so don't hate her. She's easier to deal with if you don't see what she's doing when she's being manipulated by all these assholes at Fort Huachuca. And I explained it to Amy. I explained it to Natalie. I explained it over and over again to everybody. Here's what they're doing. Here's what they want you to do. Here's what you're... Okay, son of a bitch. It's like, they laugh about it. They walked into the store and looked at me, and these white guys sat and laughed. I can program people like I can program a video game, and I can't get them to do anything they want to do. It's like, that's not true. What if they want to live the Lord's Prayer, but you'll abuse them if they attempt to live the Lord's Prayer? So them giving into abuse is what they wanted? Okay, they want to live the Lord's Prayer, but you abuse them with chemical poisoning and with economic manipulation if they attempt to. So you're a liar and you're full of shit. Okay? You're a rebel and a traitor. And... You're funny. I know. Guys, don't do things for charity, for money on TV when we're post-apocalypse. Guys, we've been post-apocalypse since January 22nd, 2013. Okay? I can't save you from your sin. You put all your money into tech for quantum computing to solve all your problems from all the people that you considered a problem. And as it worked out, all the people that are a problem are being corrected by their own technology to solve the problems. Hey, what can I say? I'm the living embodiment of eternal perfect commands. Okay. For the Lord must know how I love you so. His love has brought us here today as man and wife. Okay, guys, I love you. Good song. Yeah, It's a really good song. I just had to fix those lyrics. Like, because God is neither possessive pronoun or first person be. Money sucks, makes you fuck like ducks. And when ducks fuck, it gets really messy. And then there's that money bin. And then there's all that sin. Okay, it's funny. Okay, if Donald Trump can't laugh at it, he can't correct himself like my mother and be as strong and beautiful a person as Marianne Murphy. Parsons there. Here to who? He wishes that he could be, half the human being that my mother is. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Okay, well, if he could step in that direction, that would be really cool. I'm sure Aaron would appreciate the living hell out of it. Okay, precept. Well, get the hell out of the living hell and go straight to heaven. Be more like Marianne and her boy instead of you and your money for sex toys. Love you. Peace out.